This presentation is part of the paper discusses transformative research in a community of practice. Together, we illustrate and map the journey of developing the pathways to well-being software into story pathways to support a green circular economy. The research paper is one of three papers that will explore ways to enable participatory design and decision-making through an online community of practice. The agenda for the presentation is as follows. Eco-Village Pathway Philosophy, the first smart village in Indonesia, International Mixed Method Symposium 2017, the beginning, the new designs, story pathways, hyperledger fabrics, story classification, the grand design, the implementation, the villages in South Africa and Indonesia, history and background. The philosophy we use to build the eco-village pathway is the way. In other words, the way never acts, yet nothing is left undone. This is the law of nature. There is no gardener taking care of the forest, yet it is healthy and beautiful. If we depicted life as a wave, we could see the wave's amplitude getting smaller when the tide moves to the right, and we express it as life is calm and relaxed. On the other hand, when the waves travel from left to right, we will experience a hectic life, such as war and peace continuously changing. We can learn the nature law from water. Based on Professor Masaru Emoto research, he found out that water has feeling and memory. The water crystal images on the top left diagram show the crystal structure influenced by a positive energy or echo. The water crystal images on the bottom left picture lead the form of the crystal influenced by a negative energy or ego. We will explore further the middle circle on the left with religious symbols in the next slide. If we represent the universal force of love as the middle point of a circle, there would be 360 points surrounding the ring, and each has its view towards the central point. Suppose there are 2 points, X and Y, located at the peripheral representing views or religions. The gap between the two different points toward the middle points will be enormous if the direction of the 2 points is moving out further from the central point. Correspondingly, the wave between the 2 points views will be huge as well. If we follow the way moving towards the middle point, not only the wave will be insignificantly small, the gap between any 2 points will be insignificant as well. The criteria to achieve the universe force of love are truth, honesty, and integrity. This is the domain of blockchains. The idea of eco-village pathway is to move from centralized to distributed, or ego to eco. When the two lines, with its eco-village pathways and blockchains, cross, surely it will end up with the universal force of love. We found that the letter written by Einstein to his daughter is fake. But the idea that centralized system of control need to move towards decentralized and distributive models that support regenerative living is an approach that has been endorsed by many religions and in many philosophies such as Tao or the way. In the eco-village pathway, everyone starts with the ego, move to egoless, and finally arrive at eco together. In doing so, we found that the relationship between ego and eco is the following. Eco equated to 1 divided by ego. The bigger the ego, the smaller the eco. In every village, we focus on what is their unique selling proposition or USP. For example, bamboo, coffee, river to produce Vortex renewable energy, and bioplastic made from cassava is their USP in Indonesia. In South Africa, the USP is bamboo, baobab, tourism, wildlife, etc. We follow the low-hanging fruit principle, which is also in line with the Tao principle. Seek simplicity, grasp the essential, overcome selfishness and wasteful desire. In this slide, we will discuss about the first smart village or Kampung IT in Kediri, East Java. Since 2005, the Indonesian diaspora has been running ICT workshop in Indonesia and Australia, in line with the vision and mission of the Indonesian Association New South Wales as follows. Our vision: to expand connection, grow opportunities, and promote shared prosperity for Indonesia and its diaspora. Our missions: knowledge. Without knowledge, Indonesia will not grow. Health and well-being. Smart people who are sick cannot contribute their knowledge well. Confidence. If not confidence, healthy, smart people are useless. Unity. When smart, healthy, and confidence have been achieved, but without unity, then what have been achieved will be wasted. Global reach. When the fourth item above has been achieved, then we can reach out to the world. In collaboration with the local government of Kediri East Java, Indonesian Business Chambers or KADIN, the Central Bank of Indonesia, BI, the University of Kediri, and the Polytechnic Kediri, we have been successful in setting up the first smart village or Kampung IT in Indonesia in 2017. As the president of the Indonesian diaspora in Australia, Rudolf Wirawan, the author of this presentation, and Mr. Abu Bakar, the mayor of Kediri, have signed a memorandum of understanding for continuing support and collaboration in the area of smart village in Kediri. As a result of the Smart Village collaboration in Kediri on 24th of November 2017, Kampung IT Kediri was officially declared by the Kediri local government. Services provided by Kampung IT Kediri are as follows: desktop programming training, web and Android, internet marketing, website SEO optimization, software application deployment, IT business consultancy. As a result of the Kampung IT Kediri success, Kediri received a Smart City Award 2017 from the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Mr. Yusuf Kalla, the Vice President of the Republic of Indonesia, handed the award to Mr. Abu Bakar, the Mayor of Kediri. After the success with Smart Village, Kediri is moving forward to Eco-Village pathway with bamboo, coffee, cassava, Vortex, renewable energy, and ICT as their USP. Since Indonesia is the only country where the ring of fire crosses the bean belt, the taste of coffee is unique from one location to the other due to the different types of minerals found in the volcanic soil in various areas in Indonesia. Due to the rivers, roughly 4,400 scattered around the country, plenty of hydroelectric power can help to generate a cheap electricity in the village without coal. Eco-Village encourages villagers to use bamboo for building houses, especially in earthquake-prone areas. Most of furniture, such as bed, sofa, table, chair, etc., can be built 100% using bamboo materials. The Indonesian coffees are generally known for their full bodies, rich flavor, and vibrant yet low tone, and gentle acidity and long finish aftertaste. Some Indonesian coffees are quite earthy in taste, a quality loved by some people, but overpowering to others and takes some getting used to being fully appreciated. In 2017, Rudolf participated in Melbourne International Coffee Expo competition with Indonesian coffee from West Java and won the Bronze Medal Coffee Mice Award. Rudolf received appreciation from Mr. Ahmad Heriawan, the governor of West Java, for the success achieved at the international event in Melbourne. Due to the internet availability and COVID, people do not necessarily have to work in one location. These people are called digital nomads. The digital nomad no longer has to work at the office, and they can now work in fresh air environment with a prominent view of paddy field and river with mountain in the background. With over 4,000 rivers in Indonesia, which can be used to produce hydropower instead of coal power. Using this mini hydro turbine, its whirlpool can provide 24/7 renewable energy for dozens of homes. We choose bamboo for Eco-Village because it takes only 5 years. In the Eco-Village pathways, whereas for tree, the circular it takes 30 years or more because it doesn't produce There are many additional benefits to growing linear economy, such as, for example, producing more bioplastic and made capturing from cassava more CO2 oil than other trees. The used bioplastic can be turned into we can fertilizer. Help combat climate change no waste is created. As a Chinese proverb says, International Mixed the best time to plant 2017 was 20 years ago. Bandung, West the Java second best time 15 to 18 December 2017. Due to the joint research between universities such as UNPAD in Indonesia, Flinders in Australia, UNISA in South Africa, and Gallaudet in the USA, we all come together in 2017 to report the result of the joint research at the International Mixed Methods Symposium at UNPAD in Bandung, West Java. Here we see Professor Janet, Professor Ida, myself, Professor Yvonne, Professor Donna, and Professor Norma from UNISA, South Africa. In the symposium, we have discussed in detail mixed methods, and we also plan to set up Smart Village in South Africa under the guidance of Professor Norma from UNISA. During the symposium, which lasts for 4 days, we have the opportunity to meet the villagers in Alam Endah, West Java, to discuss the possibility of setting up Eco-Village at Alam Endah. The following diagram is the result of the Mixed Methods Symposium. The Mixed Methods research designed the hybrid approach that combines qualitative and quantitative techniques. It is used when both of these approaches are needed to answer research questions. Qualitative and quantitative methods are two different ways of gathering data. Qualitative methods involve in-depth interviews with the participants, while quantitative methods involve surveys. Mixed methods research design has been found to be an effective strategy for social science, behavioral science, and health science. As a result of the Mixed Method Symposium, Professor Norma and I had the opportunity to present our joint research finding at the Hanoi Forum in 2018. Now, let's discuss about a program called Pathways to Wellbeing, originally developed at Flinders University and led by Professor Janet McIntyre. Pathway to Wellbeing application is a Java-based application. The Java-based application implements the create, read, update, and delete function to access the database. It uses Google Web Toolkit compiler to create the CRUD Java functions into Ajax function and the related application programming interface using representational state transfer. REST is a set of architectural constraints, not a protocol or a standard. API developer can implement REST in variety of ways. PHP is used to interface to the CRUD JavaScript function via the REST API in the front end. The exchange of data between the front end and back end is JavaScript Object Notation, or JSON. The following entity relationship diagram shows the 5 questions which have been implemented in a relational database. We can see that a client can have one or many pathways. However, each pathway has to belong to one and only one domain. In a pathway, the client can express what they have, and they need expressed in concept. A concept is structured in a taxonomy fashion and comprises of economy, social, and environment. Each concept can have an associated synonym. The same idea applies with the add, discard, turning point, and barriers entities. Each resource entity comprises of a what, how, and when description. The program has been implemented using HTTP server, JavaScript, and PHP to connect to a relational database. Let's now discuss the new designs of EcoVillage pathways. EcoVillage pathways are the pathway to achieving the universal force of love, or nature sustainability. One way to achieve nature sustainability is by using the triple bottom line, or TBL in short, as a guide defined by John Elkington in 1994. To fulfill the EcoVillage goal, we need to ensure that we follow the way. As mentioned in slide 4, we only can follow the way if we equip ourselves with truth, honesty, and integrity. We use blockchains and artificial intelligence technologies to guide us to achieve the universal force of love. In doing so, anyone can trace the traceability of the truth, honesty, and integrity at any moment in time. The diagram depicts that all resources are recorded in a blockchain system. The transaction of resources is done by a smart contract, which is a program that implements the policies resulted from the policies research in the village. A smart contract is always transparent. It means it can be accessed by the public to ensure integrity. EcoVillage pathway implement the mixed method discussed previously. In this slide, we are focusing on the qualitative methods, which is part 1 of the EcoVillage pathway. It is based on story classification by responding to the 5 questions. The stories are stored in an immutable ledger or blockchains for transparency, security, efficiency, and trust. The story will be fed into the deep learning process by converting it first from an unstructured data or story to structured data using the natural language processing. The classification result is the influencer map, which is used to guide policymakers in adjusting the triple bottom line. Due to the adjustment in triple bottom line, the changes will affect the influencer map accordingly. In this slide, we are focusing on the quantitative methods, or part 2 of the EcoVillage pathways. It uses a survey-based technique provided by Qualtrics. The survey's result will be analyzed using SPSS. Let's now discuss the story pathways. Story pathway application is used to capture the effects of the triple bottom line by evaluating the story into 3 classifications: regenerating living, small changes, and business as usual. It is a personal story in answering the question of how should we live to achieve a well-being. It is built on other people's experiences. The idea of the story pathways is to gather data through focus group using basic scenarios: regenerating living, small changes, and business as usual. Identifying patterns through mapping ideas and connections. Before a user can connect to the application, the user must first register by providing the username, email address, and password. After successful registration, the user will be presented with the homepage shown in the next slide. Each time the registered user wants to access the application, only a username and password are required. Upon successful registration or logging in, a user will be presented with a list of the latest stories from those they follow. The user can click the related stories title as presented in the slide to read the story. The user can use the search function depicted as magnifying glass icon. The search function can be used to learn from other people's stories or be inspired by other people's story before they start writing their own story. The group chat feature has been implemented so villagers can communicate with each other, for example, to clarify certain things in a story or to discuss the impact of the new policy. The chatbot has been designed to automate the code body so that it can prompt a user with the 5 questions. Due to the unfamiliarity with the news story pathway application, the communities will still require a human body. Therefore, the chatbot feature will not be implemented for the current research. The EcoBuddy can use Google Speech Note or speech-to-text notepad to record the story in text, which can be entered into story pathway for further processing. Let's now discuss the Hyperledger Fabric. Hyperledger Fabric is a type of private blockchains. Unlike public blockchains such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, private blockchains are faster, more efficient, and more cost-effective than public blockchains, which require a lot of time and energy to validate transactions. A blockchain is an immutable ledger that records data in blocks. The blocks are linked together in chronological order, and they cannot be changed or deleted once they have been created. This means that all of the data on the blockchains is permanent and can never be changed or deleted. The core function of a blockchain is the cryptographic secure blockchaining structure. Each block is connected to the previous block by a digest calculated with a cryptographic hash function of the previous block. The cryptographic hash function calculates any text into a long hexadecimal value called digest. A block comprises of block header, block data, transaction, and block metadata. Every transaction T1, T2 until Tn is defined in the smart contract. Every blockchain system runs on different participation node or computer in a network. The various nodes will ensure the immutability of a blockchain system. Blockchains is a decentralized database that stores all transactions in a ledger. It doesn't have any central point of failure, and any individual can manipulate it. A smart contract is an essential part of blockchains because it executes all the transactions in the blockchains. It runs on an agreement between two parties that is written in code. A smart contract is designed to be self-executing and self-enforcing. The code is written in such a way that it will execute automatically if certain conditions are met. Application is located outside any blockchain's network. The provided application programming interface is used to connect to the blockchain system. There are three entities concerning a blockchain's application system: asset, transaction, and participation. Blockchains is a traceable system. It can be used to guarantee food safety and quality assurance. In a coffee business, the asset is various coffee products, and the participants are farmers, processors, distributors, retailers, and consumers. The transaction is always related to the participant. For example, farmer entering data associated with the type of seed, coffee family, fertilizer used. Processor entering data about quantity processed, roasting temperature, and roasting time. Distributor entering data associated with tagging, navigating, and location. Retailer entering data related to the digital ledger. Consumer reading the history of coffee using mobile phone pointing to the related QR code. The following slide shows how participants enter the transaction into a blockchain system. As can be seen from this slide, the history of blockchains managed coffee can be read at any moment in time, for example, using QR code. Now, let's focus on the story classification using natural language processing and deep learning. As defined in the Pathways to Well-being, we divided the persona into three domains, as indicated on the left part of the slide. business as usual, small changes for the long haul, and sustainable future. Correspondingly, we have chosen three classifications: business as usual, small changes, and regenerating living. To test the AI classification system, we have generated three related stories: regenerating living, business as usual, and small changes, as indicated on the right part of the slide under the story samples. The slide shows that we use the regenerating living story to test if the algorithm can predict it as regenerating living. On line 9, we set the story parameter with the regenerating living variable. We use the zero-shot classifier model for the prediction, line 10.1, with three candidate labels: regenerating living, small changes, and business as usual, line 10.3. As we can see from the plotted diagram, the algorithm has been able to identify the story is indeed regenerating living. The same happens with the business as usual story classification, as well as for the small changes story classification shown in the next slide. From these last samples, it seems that the algorithm has correctly predicted each of the story types for business as usual, small changes, and regenerating living. Finally, we are at the grand design. Part 1 of the grand design is the blockchains and the AI engine. It is not for public consumption, whereas Part 2 is for public consumption. The process starts with processing with the user story stored in a blockchain's database. Since a story is unstructured data, it will need to be converted into structured data using natural language processing before it fed to the deep learning process to be classified into an influencer map. Using the influencer map, the policymaker can take action to balance the triple bottom line. In turn, the triple bottom line will affect the villagers so that it will reflect in their story as well. To understand the role of the classification in the Eco-Village Pathways program, it is easier to compare it with the grading process of the coffee green bean into three different grading: small, medium, large, using filter screens. Suppose each bean represents one story and the filter screen represents the classification algorithm. In that case, each type of screen, S, M, and L, represent the classification of regenerating living, small changes, and business as usual. As a result, 51 kg of coffee beans produce 7 kg of small size, 43 kg of medium size, and 1 kg of large size. Correspondingly, for the story pathways, from 51 story, it has classified 7 regenerating livings, 43 small changes, and 1 business as usual stories. A typical AI models are the supervised and unsupervised models. The training data is labeled in the supervised model and unlabeled in the unsupervised model. The training data is used to train the machine learning algorithm. When the model predicts wrongly, it will be used to correct the algorithm. When the algorithm has been successfully predicting 99% of the time, The model is good enough to be used to predict any type of input data that the algorithm hasn't seen before. On the other hand, the zero-shot learning are models capable of predicting unseen classes. The zero-shot learning for text classification slogan is train one, test anywhere. The zero-shot learning algorithm is used for the eco-village pathway to classify the story into regenerating livings, small changes, and business as usual to produce the influencer map. We use the Venda database to test the zero-shot learning algorithm, which comprises of 51 stories. The first two stories are depicted in this slide. Before applying the algorithm, we first test if the program was pointing to the correct database, line 9 and line 27. We are using the MongoDB database, a NoSQL, non-relational database, which can be used for storing big data. After the proper verification, line 9 and line 27, the program starts by first resetting the three counters, line 31. The program will use the zero-shot learning, line 23, for the three classification, line 38, to classify all the 51 stories in the Venda database. From 51 stories found in the Venda database, the zero-shot algorithm has predicted 7 for the regenerating living, 43 for small changes, and only 1 for business as usual. This process is the only part visible to the public community and the eco team leaders. The Eco Village Pathways uses the Library or SGI portal as a community collaboration platform. As a result, all applications such as Story Pathways, Qualtrics, SPSS, blockchains, AI, Internet of Things, etc. are integrated into one system. The user only needs to remember one domain name to access all applications protected using user ID and password. In addition, the eco team leaders can create content such as web pages, forums, blogs, etc. To start an eco village, the eco team leaders will assign one or more eco buddies to assist the community leaders in preparing the community for eco village pathway. The eco buddy will use the 5 questions to assist the communities in writing their personal stories. The eco buddy will also guide and supervise its villagers with the circular economy activities tasks, starting with do something you love, focus on something the commons need, implement something that pays you well, and repeat the process. Finally, combining the EcoVillage Pathways engine with the community process produces the grand design. The grand design can be used to implement the 17 UN Sustainable Goals. It is an iteration process. In each iteration, the influencer map will reflect the triple bottom line status of the village. The grand design will also assist the village with the blue economy mental revolution. As we can see from this diagram, the grand design implements the mixed methods. As presented earlier, the mixed methods process has started in 2017 at the International Mixed Methods Symposium at the Unpad University, and it was finally accomplished in 2022. In the development of eco-village pathways, We follow the way. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. We apply the Wu Wei principle in developing the eco-village pathway from start to finish. Due to the G20 World event, we have applied the eco-village pathway for G20, starting with 3 G20 members countries, Indonesia, Australia, and South Africa, with the theme Spice Road Digital Transformation using Liferay DXP e-commerce. We have chosen the Spice Road because the Spice Road reflects the trading symbols of the friendship between Australia and Indonesia since 1700. The same between Indonesia and South Africa. Friendship between South Africa and Indonesia has been established since the 16th century due to the Spice Road trading activities. With G20, we now have the opportunity to expand eco-village pathways to 20 centuries as eco-trading partners. We will capitalize on the old friendship between Australia, Indonesia, and South Africa trading partners established in the 16th century. Let's now discuss the eco-village pathway implementation. In implementing the eco-village pathways, we will be using Liferay DXP Extended Edition. Liferay is a portal for enterprise, government, and higher education. It provides a web-based platform for developing and deploying portals, internet, and other digital workplace applications. Liferay Portal also comes with various pre-built applications like blog, forums, wiki, document management system, calendars, chat, and more to help get started quickly. Liferay allows enterprise to connect people and data across the entire organization. It helps organizations drive business value through customer experience, engagement, and productivity. These sections will talk about the anatomy of a web portal. A web portal is a website that is designed to provide a single point of entry for all the information related to a specific subject. The anatomy of a web portal typically includes navigation bar. The navigation bar usually sits at the top of the page, and it allows users to jump from one page of the website to another. It also provides links to important pages and other websites related to the topics. Contents area. The content area is where most of the content of the website is located. It can include text, images, videos, or any combination thereof. Search bar. The search bar is situated on every page in order for visitors to be able to search through all pages on the website for specific topic. OSGI is an engineering framework for developing and deploying modular applications. It provides a set of rules that allows the developer to break up an application into individual modules. These modules can be independently developed, tested, and deployed, which make it easier to update just one module at a time, as well as upgrade or replace the entire application with minimal effort. Liferay Portal is one of the most popular open source enterprise portal based on OSGI technology. It provides a variety of features including content management, social collaboration, digital asset management, and more. Obsidian is a note-taking and knowledge management application. Turn a collection of plain text files into a rich network of linked thought. EcoVillage Pathway is using Obsidian for note-taking, resources and project management, documentation, knowledge base, and more. Screen 1. Obsidian uses a simple markup language to create a node in editing mode. Screen 2. Depict the result in the view mode. Screen 3. Nodes that are connected can be viewed in graph mode. Screen 4. Obsidian store node in a local vault as a plain text. The EcoVillage Pathway application is based on the Liferay DXP Enterprise Edition, a 3-tier web architecture. It comprises of 1 load balancer, 2 web server, 2 application server, 1 MongoDB server, 1 relational database server, and 1 data storage. EcoVillage Pathway comprises of many components integrated into one solid application using Liferay DXP Extended Edition, called the EcoVillage Pathway Smart Engine. The EcoVillage Pathway Smart Engine can be connected via cloud to various sensors. The EcoVillage Pathway Smart Engine can be replicated independently and deployed into many different locations. Now, let's discuss the communities involved in the EcoVillage Pathway research. Currently, we are working in collaboration on joint research between the University of Adelaide, the University of South Africa, and UNPAD, the University in Bandung, Indonesia. We have interacted with the Venda Village community in growing bamboo and establishing a co-op in starting the EcoVillage Pathway. The community leader in Venda is Makaulule Mateleni. We are using bamboo, baobab, and tourism as Venda's unique selling proposition. The same happened in Indonesia. For example, we are working with the Cipta Gelar village in West Java. We are using bamboo, coffee, cassava, and tourism as Cipta Gelar's unique selling proposition. The community leader in Cipta Gelar is Abah Ugi, featured with his wife Anna. The following slides are about history and background. I have run many enterprise IT workshops in Indonesia and Australia for beginner as well as advanced since 2005. Most of the IT workshops are around Java Enterprise application development. In this slide, I ran the Liferay Enterprise Portal IT workshop at the UNPAD campus in Bandung, West Java, for social and politics science students. At the end of the Liferay Enterprise Portal IT workshop, each participant has successfully created the Liferay Enterprise Portal server running on their laptops and can be accessed remotely by any student in the workshop. The slide depicts a Liferay portal running on a participant laptop accessed by others remotely. As a certified Scrum Master, I also run Scrum Master training at PT Compute Trade Technology International or CTI company in Jakarta in 2017. CTI was established in 2003 as an IT company that distributes the world-leading information technology brand. At that time, CTI positioned itself as an IT infrastructure solution partner in the sense of focusing on project-based IT infrastructure and service through business partners, which are independent software developer and system integrator. I have been an IBM employer for 10 years, and I left IBM in 2000 to set up my own company, Virasoft Pty Ltd, in 2002. In early 2003, I contributed to the IBM Start Now portal solution, not as an IBM employee, but as an IBM business partner. As a senior IT architect at IBM, I have been involved with the Java portal technology since its inception. As I was with IBM, one of my tasks was to lead the portlet development team using IBM WebSphere portal and Library portal. In October 2005, I ran Sun Certified Java Programming, now Oracle Certified Java Programming, for I-40 Solution Infotech's employees. I-40 is a provider of IT, hardware, software, telecommunication, internet connection, and outsourcing services. The company offered micro cell pole infrastructure and fiber optic cable leasing services, and secured broadband internet connection via wireline, wireless, and Wi-Fi using a fiber optic network coupled with wireless mesh technology and virtual private network services for diverse corporate and government organizations in the metropolitan area. As a result of the workshop, all participants succeeded in obtaining the Sun Certified Programmer for Java. After running the Sun Certified Java Programming workshop, I also ran the Sun J2EE Certified Web Component Developer workshop for I-40 employees. Unfortunately, this time we only achieved 80% success rate. The following slide shows my employment history, starting with Nixdorf Computer in Germany, Nixdorf Computer in Indonesia, Wang Computer Australia, IBM Australia, Axis Media Group, and finally, I built my own company, Virasoft Consulting Pty Ltd, in 2002 until today. The following slide shows my further research and consulting history, as well as my involvement in the community. Technical Director at Axis Media Group, Associate Vice President, Senior Architect, leads Portal Practice and Enterprise Web Technology at Emphasis and Hewlett Packard Company. Founder and CEO of Virasoft Pty Ltd. President of the Indonesian Association of New South Wales. Certified Scrum Master. Adelaide Higher Degree Researcher. Flinders Industry Partner. Flinders Adjunct Senior Researcher. UNPAD Research Fellow. In 2000, I received a 10 years IBM Service Award, starting as object-oriented project leader to senior IT architect. When China revived their Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, we can also restore our Belt and Trade Initiative, BTI, using our SPICE route by transforming it into digital trade, hence the Spice Route digital transformation. Since all trading needs routes, we will propose at the G20 the transformation of BRI and BTI into Belt and Eco Initiative, or BEI. Since Australia, Indonesia, and South Africa are members of the G20, we have initiated the global vision to implement Spice Route digital transformation using the Eco-Village Pathways approach. The truth is that trade and love are the same things. Trade is exchanging goods and services for other goods and services. Love is a way for caring for someone else. So, in this sense, trade and love are the same things. People who have an honest heart will always have integrity in their trade practice because they will never cheat or deceive someone else to get what they want. As presented on slide 4, truth, honesty, and integrity is the way to universal force of love. Should you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact me directly on my email address as follows: rudolph.wirawan@adelaide.edu.au or rwirawan@gmail.com. That was all I have to share with you. Thank you.